Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Nguyen. In this screencast-o-matic video, I will be talking about the new attendance policy that we are implementing school-wide at GPTC, which I failed to mention in my course introduction. As you can see here on the screen, I have our course syllabus open to the section that discusses the attendance, that explains the attendance policy. This is available. This is our course syllabus, so you may download it and print it or read it for your own information at any time. But in this video, I will draw your attention to these to certain parts of the attendance policy that we all need to be aware of. Alright, so of course, as usual, you as a student may decide to withdraw yourself at any point during the semester, at any point before the midpoint of the semester. Okay, you may consult the academic calendar in the quick links to be informed of when the midpoint is of the semester, or you may wait for registrar to send out an email to everyone informing us, all faculty and staff, of the midpoint of the semester. So you may withdraw any time before the midpoint and get a W. Okay, so this is at your own discretion. If a few weeks into the semester and you find that you are struggling in this course for a number of reasons, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to decide whether or not it is best for you to continue in the course or to withdraw and retake the class at a later time, in a later semester, when you are able to give the class to give the course more of your time and attention. So that part of the attendance policy has not changed. The no-show, I say in my announcement that you will have to complete the no-show / participation assignment within the first week of class. It doesn't really matter how well you do on the assignment. Excuse me, if it is multiple choice, all that matters is that you complete the assignment or that you attempt it and submit your attempt. Because if you do not, when it is time for me to report my no-show, what I do is I'll go in and all I'll look at is the submissions to see who made a submission, and whoever do not make a submission will be reported as a no-show from the course, and they will be dropped from the course. So make sure that if you need this course, you need to stay in this course, make sure that you make sure that you do the no-show / participation assignment. It is not full grade, so it is good, of course, to be aware of what you do. I'm sorry, it is good to try to do everything well, even things that are not graded or do not count towards anything substantial. Okay, so while I tell students that, you know, the participation assignment is not for a grade, but that does not mean that you can enter whatever in the answer boxes. So just try your best. The quiz is not time limited. Okay, so take your time, but just keep in mind that it should be the first thing you do in the course before you start anything else, because it is due by the end of the 7th day of the semester. All right, now to the more important item on this syllabus, which is the participation 10% rule of the attendance school-wide attendance policy. Because we are a face-to-face class, we will refer only to the section that explains, because we are an online class, we will refer to only the section that explains how attendance is taken and regarded for online classes. But here is the 10% rule. Attendance is taken every day for a face-to-face class, but for all kinds of students, no matter what type of class you take, be it face-to-face or online, if you miss 10% or more of a course, you will be withdrawn. 10% equates to the following. We are in a regular semester of fall. Fall and spring semesters are considered regular semesters. Shorter semesters are your summer semester. So the regular semesters of fall and spring has a total of approximately 15 weeks, at least 15 weeks, but yeah, well, about 15 weeks, I apologize. So if you miss 10% of that 15 weeks, which come out to be 3 classes or 3 days of meeting if this were face-to-face, right, then you will be withdrawn, even if it happens before the midpoint. Okay, so now of course there are exceptions to this rule, and that is if you have an extenuating circumstance that can be excused upon your providing official documentation to verify of your actual circumstances, but that is going to be determined at the discretion of your instructor. But if you have any such documentation, it is best to bring to my attention. It is best to bring it to my attention early on in the semester and not wait around. Okay. So how does the 10% rule apply for online classes? Well, here's the section that explains that. Attendance will be recorded at least once per week, which means you are expected to log into Blackboard at least once or twice per week. I like to tell my students, log in more than once a week, really, because you have things that you need to do every week on Blackboard. And the only way for you to do them is to log into the course and be active in the course, participate in the course, participate in discussion boards, and any other activities that are assigned by me. 10% equates to the following for online classes. For the regular semester of 15 weeks, if you miss 2 weeks or more of active participation, okay, then you will be withdrawn. So if you are absent, so if I find that you missed 2 weeks of logging into the course, it does not have to be consecutively, okay? It can be 1 week here and 1 week there. But if you miss a total of 2 weeks, at the end, after I find that you missed 2 weeks, you will be withdrawn from, you may be withdrawn from the class. If a student completes all course work for an online class early and ahead of schedule, they will not be subject to attendance requirements for the remainder of the term. You are not advised to move ahead of the class because every single assignment that is given in this class needs time, preparation, and instruction for satisfactory performance. So if you move ahead without receiving the necessary directions and or instructions, right, then you may not perform well, or you may perform poorly on these assignments. So it is not recommended. But on the other hand, you do not have to wait to the last possible minutes to complete an assignment. Okay, but once lectures have been given, you've read what you're supposed to read, and you received instructions and lectures for that, for a specific assignment, go ahead and attempt the assignment in question as soon as you can while the information is still fresh in your mind, because if you wait around, you may lose some of the retention of the information, and that may cause you not to do as well as you could do if you were to just go straight into the assignment while the information is still fresh, right? So that is something to keep in mind. So the short, to recap, you don't want to jump ahead without receiving appropriate instructions, directions, and lecture, but you do not want to wait till the last hours, the last couple of hours before an assignment is due to do them, right? So somewhere in between, the deadline and after having, prepared adequately for an assignment, then you should move forward and attempt your assignment. All right, so how is active participation in an online class accounted for, or how does it count? Well, active participation in online class is weekly participation that can be documented by any or all of the following methods. If you complete assignments that are due for that week, you are considered actively participating in that class. And these assignments may be graded or may not be graded, so they can be your quizzes or your essays that are graded, or they may be discussion boards that that do not count for a grade, but they do count towards your active participation. Okay, so discussion board or anything else that I asked you to do that may not necessarily be graded all count as active participate, all count as assignments that captures your active participation. Communication with me is another way to show that you're actively participating, and any other participation type of assignments that I assign throughout the semester. So besides your quizzes and your essays and other graded assignments, you are also expected to participate in discussion boards or anything else that I ask you to do as part of the preparation process for a graded assignment. Okay, so that is pretty much the gist of the attendance policy of an online class. All right, another thing that I want to show you is the is my documentation. Excuse me. Another thing that I want to show you in this lecture, I'm sorry, in this video is the documentation item that appears in each and every one of your module in course content. So as you can see, I have our page open here in student preview mode. I'm going to go into module 1, right? And the item that I'm looking for is the documentation of technical issue, right? This page appears in every single one of your module. Okay, because the module objectives, the general guidelines for course compositions, and the college level composition are 4 of the items that you will see in every single module as the first 4 items, because they are standard items that you need to know, that you need to be aware of throughout the semester. So that's the reason that I put them in all of your modules. So let's check. I'm in module 1. I'm going to go to module 2 just to make sure that it's there. All right, yes, it is. General guidelines, college composition, documentation of technical issues. So it appears in all of your module. I'm going to go to module 3 and see. Okay, it is there as well. All right, so let's go back and pull up the documentation of technical issues. All right, so this page tells you all, informs you all, or provide guidelines of what you need to do in the event that you should encounter a technical issue sometime this semester. So this is a kind of worst case scenario, because we are an online class, and an online class, for us to function and operate, and for the instructions to be delivered to you smoothly, we pretty much depend almost absolutely on technology. But we also know, as frequent users of technology, we also know that sometimes problems will occur, and we need to be prepared for that, for the kind of problems that can occur, as a contingency of technology use. So this page, the documentation of technical issues page, explains my definition of technical issues, what counts as actual technical issues for me, and if you should ever have an actual technical issues, what you should do, how you should document your issue, so that you can inform me, so that I can consider giving you an opportunity to make up or an assignment, or to extend an assignment's deadline for you, if you qualify, if you provide appropriate if you provide correct documentation, and that your issue actually qualifies as a technical issue. So which means, to begin, we need to define what technical issue is, or rather, I need to define for you all what I consider technical issues. First off, let me tell you what I don't consider technical issues as. Technical issues are not user issues or individual computer issues. Okay, so If you do not know how to navigate Blackboard, or if you do not know how to submit certain things or where to look in Blackboard, that's not an excuse. Okay, you sign up for an online course. Resources and information are provided for you in this course to help you navigate the course. So you have to learn to get used to it yourself. So failure to do so is not a technical issue. Failure to do so will not give you a second chance to submit something that you missed. So I'm very strict about deadlines. Okay. I understand that we all have different issues and obligations and busy lives outside of school, but I cannot consider 100 plus students very types of issues. All I know is when you sign up for a class, everyone is treated equally in my class. What I mean by that is that you all have the same number of assignments. Okay, the level of rigor and difficulty of assignments are all the same for you all. You all have the same amount of time in which to perform or to do these works and turn it in. You're all graded by the same standards, by the same criteria. So you are all equal in that sense, and you all have to meet the same deadline. No special treatment for anyone unless you have an extenuating circumstance that can be excused. Not all circumstances can be excused, but if you have one that can be excused, make sure that you bring it to my attention with documentation, and I'll take it from there. Alright, so technical issues are not individual computer issues. Individual computer issues may be Wi-Fi connection is not good, not having internet access, your computer is not working properly. All of those are individual computer issues. They're not technical issues. Okay, user issues are not technical issues as well, and some of these user issues are, like I said, not knowing how to not having the basic computer skills that you need to be successful in an online course, because you signed up for an online course. So not knowing how to use a computer, how to do works online, or how to do basic things such as saving a file or uploading a file are all user issues. And if you know that you do not have these skills yet, then you should not have signed up for an online course. This is not a computer class. I do not teach students basic computer skills. When you sign up for this course, you are expected to know how to perform these basic computer functions. Okay, to be successful in an online course, that is a given. Alright, so all of those are examples of user/individual computer issues, and to reiterate one last time, they do not count as technical issues. So here's what counts as technical issues. Technical issues are issues that come from the system that we're using itself, and that system being Blackboard and or Turnitin, because we are using Blackboard, the system that we're using to participate in the course is Blackboard. So if Blackboard itself, right, is experiencing an issue, is down for whatever reason, or if Turnitin, which is the program that we use to submit your essays, if Turnitin is experiencing technical issues, then those are all technical issues because they arise from the actual systems that we use to deliver the course. Okay, so what that means is that true technical issues will probably affect everyone or all people. And what that means is that anytime you're trying to do something and Blackboard is down or Turnitin is down, you should receive an error message, right, alerting you that there is an error within the system. So that's what I want you to document. That's what I want you to capture in your documentation of technical issues if you should ever encounter one of these during this semester. Okay, so you want to take a screenshot of it. You take a screenshot. One of the ways to take a screenshot on a PC is to press down the control button on your keyboard and the print screen button. at the top of the keyboard. If this were a normal keyboard, you press them down, I think at the same time. Okay, and then you can copy and paste and save the picture and email me the and email me that screenshot that documents the actual message. All right, so here are the criteria for the documentation. You want to take a screenshot of the actual error message. You want to make sure that the image is visible and not conspicuous looking. You want to make sure that I am able to read the error message, right? Because I'm able to read the error message, otherwise I will not be able to determine if this is actually an error from the system. Make sure that the image has a date and timestamp on the bottom right hand corner and the course registration number and your name in the image. If I do not see the date or the time or the CRN, if I do not see the date, time, the CRN, and your name, then I cannot accept your documentation, even if the documentation actually captures a real error message. But if you do not have the date, time, stamp, the CRN, and your name, then I cannot verify what time you try, what time and date you had this problem, and if you did in fact try to do something about it before the deadline of an assignment, right? And I also have to know that you are the one who is experiencing this technical issue, so I can only tell that if your name is visible in the image. Then after that, you want to email me with a description of the scenario and attach the image for my view and for my examination and consideration. Okay, all of this is important. If you should ever forget any of these criteria at any point later on in the semester, when you do encounter a technical issue, you cannot say, oh, I didn't know, or I forgot, or I didn't realize, because this page is right here available for your information. Okay, so if you need to visit this page again, you must and you should. Okay, because not having the information that I'm asking for because you forgot or you failed to take the time to revisit or remind yourself of these criteria is not an excuse. Okay, I'm very tough with deadline. Even if you miss a minute, okay, then you've missed. Even if you're late in submitting an assignment by a minute, then you're late and it won't be accepted, because I do not accept late works. Okay, so make sure that you have that. And I will tell you this: the day and the time and the CRN and the number are important to me. And the reason that the day and the time are important to me is because I need to make sure that you attempt to submit an assignment before the assignment's deadline. Because what happens is, if you try later on, if you try to submit an essay to the Dropbox late, you will receive an error message. So what that means is that not all error messages that you could possibly get does not necessarily indicate an actual message itself. I don't know why Turnitin does not simply tell students when they try to submit a paper late that they're late, but instead what Turnitin.com, what Turnitin the program does is that it gives you an error message as if something is wrong with the system, when really you're just late in your submission. Okay, so you have to give me the date and the timestamp, right, so that I can verify that you try, if you try to make a submission before the deadline, so that your error message may actually be an actual error message and not just a you missed the deadline type of message, type of error message. Okay, so that is very, very important. And another thing that, since we're on the topic of Turnitin Dropboxes, and I hope that you've explored the course enough to know what I'm talking about, or that you've read or that you viewed the course introduction video, to have a kind of orientation of a Blackboard course, right? Please note that if this is your second time taking English 1101, or if you're retaking this because you withdrew from the course, in the past, or some in some past semester, and you've done some works there, or if you've done some works in English 1101, but you're retaking it again for whatever reason this semester, know that all works that that all works that you'll be turning in for this course, for this class in this semester, need to be new original works, which means even if you've taken this course before, and or if you've done some of the assignments before because you took some portion of the course before, does not mean that you can resubmit those same assignments for a grade, because what Turnitin will do is it will show that that work has already existed. So it will look like as if you plagiarized, and even if you didn't plagiarize, you're just recycling or reusing your works, is still not acceptable, and you will get a 0 for it. And as a matter of fact, your syllabus does outline this stipulation. All right, so make sure that that everything you turn in, your essays, your quizzes, they're all new original works, right, that you composed this semester all over again for the first time for a grade. You cannot double dip, meaning you cannot reuse or recycle a past assignment. Okay, because if you do, you will fail the course. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind is new original works. Alright, so that's all that I think I want to cover in this video. If you should forget any parts, all of the information that I've conveyed in this video are very, very important. Okay, and it is absolutely your responsibility to be aware of these policies. And if you need to listen or revisit this video again, I know it's not exciting to have to listen to me, but it is important. And if you need to revisit this page again or listen to this video or some parts of this video again, please make sure you do that. Do everything and anything that you can to help yourself succeed in this course. Okay, your success is important to us. Your success is important to me, but that's not to say that I am going to excuse every behavior. I am going to act within the boundaries of academic integrity and fairness. Okay, so what I give to one, I will give to all, and what I don't give to one, I will not give to anyone, right? So like I said earlier, as long as you're in this class, you're all equal. You have the same amount of work, the same amount of time to do them in, and you're all graded by the same criteria and standards. So we're all pretty much essentially equal in that sense, and I don't intend to make an exception for anyone.